Hey guys, Tina here and welcome to my February book haul. As you can tell from my thumbnail, there are a bit more than 3 books in this haul. Now 3 is the magical number that, it's my limit for how many books I can buy each month. And clearly there are a few more. I can explain all of that, not that I need to, but it just so happened that a few pre-orders came late. I had a gift card, that doesn't count, and also, the rest were February picks. So yeah, enough of my excuses, let's get to the books. So the first few books that I'm going to talk about are my January pre-orders. So they came out at the end of January or beginning of February, and that's why they're here. And the first of those is Alison Goodman's The Dark Days Pact, which is book 2 in her Lady Helen series. And this tells the story of Lady Helen, and she, in the first book we see her get introduced to the Queen, and she's supposed to find herself a husband. But instead she is thrust into this world of demons and good-looking men, and she quite likes it there, so she stays there. And this is book 2 in the series, and I already read it, and I talked about it in one of my videos, and I will link it up above so you can go watch it. Now the next book is sort of one that I already read last year, but in e-format, and now that the paperback came out I decided to get it because that's what I do, and that is Marked in Flesh by Anne Bishop. This is book 4 in her other series. It's a series that I really love, but surprisingly haven't talked about it this year at all, I think, which is weird because I talk about it constantly. And this is the story of Meg, who lives in this alternate world, very similar to ours, but there's really this great divide between nature and humans, and she ends up in a courtyard, which is sort of a go-between between these two parts. And there, people, the people that live there are actually, well, nature's creatures such as vampires, were creatures, and other natural beings, and she ends up there. She's a blood prophet, so whenever she cuts herself and there's blood, she can predict the future, and she makes her home there. And I really love this series, and the last one is coming out at the beginning of next month, I think, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to be rereading this. It depends how much time I'll have. But, I do remember it, so it's not absolutely necessary that I do it. And the last pre-order that I have is Traitor to the Throne by Alvin Hamilton. This is book 2 in Rebel of the Sands series that I've read at the beginning of January, and I was really on the fence about whether or not I want to continue on with the series. But the reviews that I checked, make it sound like this is a really great sequel, so I decided to give it a shot. And that's why I have it here. And this is a story of Amani, who lives in this desert town. Her future is basically decided for her, and she doesn't like it at all. So she decides to run away, and she joins forces with this boy, and they travel across the desert and get into some troubles. And yes, I hope this one turns out to be better than the first one. At the beginning of this month I finished reading The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, which is book 1 in his Wheel of Time series that has 14 books in it, and they're all huge, and I really liked that story. It tells the story of these boys that live in this small village. They're preparing for this festival that they have, and out of the blue they were attacked by these creatures, and nobody knows why, and it turns out that these creatures were after these boys. It was not some random attack, and the boys decide to leave the village so its inhabitants would be safe, and they go on this journey, and it's quite adventurous, and I really liked it, so I decided to get the sequels, well, a few of them, because there are a lot of them. And I had this gift card that my friends got me for New Year's, and I decided to take advantage of that, and I found books 2, 3, and 4 in my local bookstore, so I decided to, buy them, and here I have them. So book 2 is The Great Hunt. I'm not gonna even check what they're about because I do not want to get spoiled. So book 2, The Great Hunt. Then I have The Dragon Reborn, book 3 in the series, and then book 4, The Shadow of Rising. And I really love these editions, they fit really nicely together, and yes, they're all huge chunkers. They're all about 600, 700, well, no, even over 900 pages, which I'm not sure when I'm not, going to read them. I would like to get at least half of the series done this year, but The Eye of the World was a really slow read. As much as I loved it, it took a while for me to read it, so I will see how these are. But yes, these will definitely get read this year. And now let me tell you about the last 3 books that I have. It's actually a trilogy that I didn't expect to buy, but I started listening to the first book in the series on, I have it on Audible, and I really loved it, and I decided that I have to have them in paperback format because that's a bit easier for me to concentrate if I'm reading, as you know, opposed to if I'm listening to a book being read to me. So that is actually the Raven Shadow trilogy by Anthony Ryan. Sorry, it's a huge, I can barely hold them. So these are the 3 books that I decided to get, and you have, the first one is Blood Song, then we have Tower Lord, and the third one is Queen of Fire. So they're all, again, huge books, but I'm just in love with the first one, so hopefully that, you know, will go for the rest of the series. And they actually tell the story of Vela Malsorna. He's the son of the Battle Lord, and when he turns 10, his father brings him to the House of the Sixth Order, which is this fighting order. You know, there he's taught how to fight, how to survive, and we just, in this first book, we sort of you see him grown up and who he becomes, and then it goes back as a flashback. He tells his story similar to how A Name of the Wind is told. You know, he goes back and recounts his story, you know, how he came to the order and how he grew there, and I'm really loving it, and I cannot wait you know, for March, when I can dedicate my time fully to these books. So those are all the books that I managed to acquire in the last few weeks. I'm really excited for most of these books. I really want to get to them soon, but you know, rationally I know that that will not be possible, but at least to some of them. So yes, let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these and how you felt about them, or just let me know what books you plan to read in March. And thank you for watching this video, and see you in my next one. Bye!